So before we start drafting Project 4, I wanted to go over the assignment guidelines with you so that you know exactly what you're in for and exactly what you're aiming for in this project. The module for Project 4 is right here below the module for class today. And if you click on the Project 4 guidelines, they will open up nicely for you. And this project is your final project of the semester. Woohoo! Is on your position paper on the topic that you worked with in your evaluative annotated bibliography. And you're going to be using those two research sources, and you can use more sources if you'd like, that you discovered in your research for Project 3. This project is 20% of your final grade, and it's extremely important that you know you must receive a passing grade on this project in order to pass 102. Even with the liberal pass-fail option that the university has offered you, you still must pass this essay to pass our class. And what that means primarily, you need to have, some development of ideas, and you need to have a thesis. But the most important thing that you need to be taking care of here is your engagement with sources, and you need to make sure that you're avoiding plagiarism and patch writing and all of the things that we've been talking about this semester. This is a requirement not just for our class, but for every section of 102. I don't want you to freak out or get overly anxious about being correct on this essay. There's going to be plenty of time for you to go over drafts with me, and I'm here to help you in any way that you need. There are a lot of materials in the module to help you think about paraphrase and working with sources appropriately. If you have any questions at all, just reach out and ask me. And as we went over in class, the main thing is to know that whenever you use someone else's ideas, even if you put it in your own words, you must cite it in your essay. And if you ever use somebody else's words, they must go into quotes and get cited. This is really important. Okay, so the assignment guidelines. In this essay, you're going to write an essay that takes a position on the issue you researched in Project 3. You're going to use the sources that you used in Project 3. You can also use examples from Luiselli's Tell Me How It Ends and from your own experience. You also can provide additional research sources if you need them for this project. You do need to take some kind of position, but a position doesn't have to offer a solution or take a definitive stance. It doesn't have to be a hardcore argument. You might, for example, make a claim about what the main challenges illegal immigrants face are. You might argue, for example, that the central dilemma faced by undocumented parents is between providing emotional support to their children and maintaining their own psychological health. Those are perfectly legitimate stances or positions you could take. An argument you can fully support in just 4 pages will be small and nuanced. You wouldn't want to argue, for example, that gangs are detrimental to society. That's just too much to take on in 4 pages. But you might argue that they cause a specific result or impact society in a very particular way. We're going to spend time together working on articulating a position from your research during the drafting process today. So the requirements for Essay 4. It needs to be 4 or more pages, double-spaced in a standard 12-point font. It needs to include 2 or more outside sources. If you want to use more sources, that's fine. At least 2 of them should be scholarly. You can also include examples from Luiselli's book or from your own experiences. You need to make sure you're correctly citing any quotes, paraphrases, or summaries that you're using in your sources, and you need to use MLA format. You need to make sure you're not misrepresenting the ideas of your sources. You're going to submit this essay along with all the components that we're going to work on together. You've got a workshop draft, a peer-reviewed draft, a conference draft, and you need to include copies of all your sources. Now, your drafts will already be on Canvas, submitted on Canvas, so that's fine. You don't have to include those again. But you do need to make sure you're including copies of your sources if they are new sources that you haven't submitted yet. I cannot grade the paper unless I have copies of all the sources you've used. This is also really important. Unethical source use in Essay 4, which could include inadequate paraphrase, missing citations, citing the wrong source, all of those kinds of careless research habits that we talked about in Project 2, that's going to mean a failure of this project, and it's going to mean you have to retake the class. You're also going to submit a copy of this essay for program assessment to assess at marymount.edu. This does not impact your grade in any way. It's an anonymous assessment process. We just need to make sure that we are teaching you what you need to be learning in this class. So this is for the department and for the university. Here's a sense of the grading for project 4. I'm going to be looking for focus on a significant specific issue or aspect of an issue that can be effectively analyzed in 4 pages. I'm going to look for complex, clear thesis statement, making an original, insightful claim, and one that's clearly connected to the reasoning throughout. We're going to be working on a thesis statement today in the drafting process. I'm looking for engaging and clear topic sentences at the beginning of each body paragraph. We're going to talk about this as well. I'm going to be looking for attention to specific details and consideration of their implication, incorporation of contradiction or counter-argument to the analysis. So anytime you're taking a position, it's really important that you acknowledge other views, even those that might oppose your own. I'm looking for a thoughtful examination of how details from different sources illuminate or contradict each other. Comprehensiveness and balance. So I'm looking for reasonable choice of main points, terms, examples, and ability to show their relation to each other. I want to make sure that all parts of the essay clearly relate to each other without digressions or generalizations. You need to have a clear organization. Your essay needs to progress logically and smoothly with appropriate transitions, and we're going to be talking about that today. And you need to make sure you edit carefully, okay? This is an English class, so good grammar, sentence structure is all really important. And you also need to include an MLA Works Cited page in appropriate format. Here are some more guidelines for you to think about in terms of excellent essay, average essay, and an insufficient essay. So take a look at these. Let me know if you have any questions, and that's all for this assignment.